Hi, I'm Neil Milton. I want to talk about will challenges. Will challenges are extremely difficult in Ontario. The grounds in which you can challenge a will itself are quite narrow. So if you're challenging who inherits what's under a will, likely you're trying to allege that the will was secured by duress or under influence, or that the testator lacked capacity. Frequently, those all go together. An aged parent who has a bit of dementia or perhaps a little bit of Alzheimer's, one child is pressuring them and ends up being the sole trustee and the sole beneficiary of the will. So they are possible, but they are difficult. But it's also really important to recognize how often the concern or complaint can be dealt with some other way. So if you're opposed to who is chosen as the executor, but not to the distribution of the estate, that may be possible to attack much more easily. So to have a qualified independent third party appointed as the estate trustee rather than your untrustworthy brother. The same is true, for instance, with financial dependence. So if you or someone you know is dependent on the deceased and they didn't make adequate provision for the dependent in their will, it is definitely possible to challenge that will. And in fact, that's a challenge that can be made against an estate, even if there is no will. So we see that a lot with common law spouses or with children who've been left out of estates and were previously receiving or should have been receiving support from the deceased. Those routes are much more straightforward, actually, than a direct frontal will challenge. Lastly, one of the things that we see a lot of is challenges to joint ownership of houses, joint ownership of bank accounts. Frequently, an adult parent will put them joint with their adult child. Those can be attacked. The onus lies on the recipient to prove that a gift was intended, and that can be quite difficult. If they don't meet that onus, then the asset actually belongs to the estate. I hope that's helpful. If you have questions or concerns, send us an email. We'll get right back to you.